guys, today I'll be showing you how to transform an old men's shirt into a super cute bustier peasant top. I've seen these literally everywhere on Urban Outfitters and Princess Polly and Reformation, but they're super expensive, so I thought why not make them myself. This video is going to be separated in 3 parts, so the first part I'm going to show you how to make the front piece, the second part I'm going to show you how to make the back piece, the third part I'm just going to show you how to do the sleeves, and finally I'll just show you how to attach everything in the end. Towards the end, how I attach the sleeve. If you're a real seamstress or something, please don't laugh at me. I know I did like horrible job, that's not what you're actually supposed to do, but whatever, we'll just roll with it. So yeah, also I randomly bumped into a bunny while I was filming extra footage in the park. I don't know why, I've been bumping into so many bunnies recently. The other day, me and my sister, we found a baby bunny. A cat had destroyed the nest and killed its brother or sister. You could literally see half of the dead bunny's body. We ended up just bringing it to SPCA. But yeah, like I've been seeing a lot of bunnies lately. Fun fact, my zodiac sign is actually a bunny, so maybe it's a sign or something. Maybe this year is gonna be my year, despite all of the horrible things that happened so far in 2020. Anyways, if you want to see a wild bunny, then just make sure to keep watching till the end. And if you want to learn how to make this super cute top, then keep watching. Starting off with the 2 front pieces. Those 2 cups low-key look like 2 dumplings. Remove any pockets you might have on the front of your blouse. I ended up with these 2 weird patches for some reason. Then take your trusty bra and draw the cup shape onto the blouse. Make sure to leave space between the 2 cups. I left 1 inch. Separate your bottom piece from your top piece. Cut out the 2 cup shapes as well. Now we're going to cut out the cup material from our top part. To find the dimensions, take your bra again and measure the bust length and add 5 centimeters. Measure your bust width as well and add 4 to 5 centimeters depending on how large you want the cups to be. Then draw 2 rectangles with the dimensions you just measured. Round the edges to create a cup shape. Cut out your cup. Use the cup you just cut out as a template for the next one, so they're perfectly the same. And ooh, damn, look at those pipes. Just kidding, I need to go to the gym again. Zigzag stitch the ends to prevent any fraying. Fold some fabric over an elastic and pin it and sew it together, creating a channel for your elastic. Now we're going to re-insert the elastic back in. I'm using a bodkin for this step, but you can just use a simple safety pin to shush your elastic back in the channel. Pin one side. Then scrunch your material so like this, the width is the same as the cup on your bodice. Repeat the same thing for the other cup. Once you're happy with your length, secure the elastic onto the fabric with 3 to 4 back and forth straight stitches. Now we're just going to do a simple straight stitch all along the end of the cup. Make sure you never backstitch at any point in time. You're also going to want to put your stitch length to the highest. Mine was 4. Also make sure to leave a lot of hanging thread on each side. To do the actual gather, pull the top thread and simply spread the fabric along. Make sure your gathering is somewhat equal everywhere. And voila! You should have 2 cabbages / mermaid seashells to cover your chest. Next up, we're going to pin the cups to the actual bodice. Make sure to also do a double fold hem here. Now, I initially struggled doing this part, but you want to make sure to hide this piece behind
I also had trouble with the actual cup and the sides of the cup. To avoid making mistakes, don't pin vertically like this. Instead, I found it's much easier to sew afterwards when you pin parallel to the edges like this. You also want to be careful not to sew onto your cup fabric underneath. Instead, you're going to want to pinch the fabric and sew only the edges. So again, don't sew straight like this. Fold your cup underneath and pinch and only sew the outer edges. The two pieces, right side should be facing each other and the wrong side should be facing outwards. Cut one side of the tube to open up and create two pieces. Cut off the excess on the other side. Then I approximately measured how much I wanted on my body and decided to keep my top 29 centimeters long with a 1-inch hem allowance. The two pieces' widths were also 28 centimeters. Oh, and don't forget to do a double fold hem on the top and bottom parts. To do a double fold hem, simply fold the fabric twice and sew as you go. Now, moving on to part 2, the back piece. Ooh, looks like a cannoli or lasagna this time. To make the shirring in the back, take your remaining back fabric and draw lines with 1/2 inch gaps in between each line. It's important to note that once we do the shirring, the fabric will shrink almost twice its size. I decided to make mine 24 centimeter long. The actual shirring pattern we're going to do is sort of like a snakes and ladder pattern or an infinite S. To do the shirring, remove your bottom bobbin and replace it with elastic thread. The trick to doing this is to go not too tightly but not too loosely either. Make sure your thread on top is a normal thread that matches the color scheme of your garment. You should have a normal thread on top and an elastic thread on the bottom. Once you get to sewing, the fabric will start to gather or bunch up together, so make sure you stretch it out as you sew. Once you reach the end of your guideline, put the needle down, lift the presser foot, then pivot the fabric 90 degrees. Lift your needle up and move it to the next guideline we drew. Put the presser foot down and the needle as well. Lift your foot, pivot the fabric 90 degrees again, and start sewing on the straight line we drew earlier. So just to repeat again, once you reach the end, lift the presser foot, turn the fabric 90 degrees, lift your needle and put it down at the next guideline we drew. Lift the presser foot again, pivot the material 90 degrees, and start sewing on the straight line we drew earlier. To finish and secure our shirring, you're going to want to pinch and fold the sides and sew only the edges of that. Fold the fabric in two and sew only the outer edge. And voila! Don't forget to iron your shirring once you're done for a more even and clean finished look. So I just repeated this step twice. Oh, and make sure to sew on top of your shirring as well. That was my first attempt at shirring. Not too bad if I say so myself. As you can see, it's very smaller than before, but it'll stretch once you wear it. To attach our two front pieces to our back piece, take one front piece at a time and pin and sew the pieces with the two right sides facing each other. It should look something like this at the end. You can cut this excess fabric once you've tried it on your body and you like the fit. We now have a super cute tube. And this is where I ended up breaking my needle. I'm so sad. Okay. Poor little guy. Yay! Moving on to our sleeves. Cut off the sleeves from the top part. With the remaining fabric, I created 2 strips to put over my shoulders. I simply sewed them together and did zigzag stitches on the edges to prevent fraying again. Then I took an elastic and approximately measured how long I wanted it on my body, fold the fabric over and create another channel for our elastic. Reinsert the elastic in our tube. Once the elastic is in, I just pulled a little bit so like this I would have this ruffled effect. Secure the elastic with the fabric with 3 to 4 straight stitches. You should have 2 strips of fabric that look something like this. Take your strip of fabric and put it inside out. Pin it to your sleeve. You should have a gap here, that's normal. To sew our strip of fabric onto the sleeve, you're going to want to fold the strip inside the sleeves and sew only the outer edges. The sleeve and the strip of fabric's right sides should be facing each other and the wrong sides facing outwards. It should look something like this. Now, to attach the sleeves onto the bodice, simply pin the sleeves onto it and try it on your body and see if you like it. Pin the front piece as well. To attach this part of the sleeve, I simply did a couple of straight stitches and zigzag stitches. For aesthetic reasons, I did an invisible stitch by hand on this part of the sleeve where there was a hole, as well as the front part too, where the sleeve still wasn't attached. To attach the sleeve to the cup, you don't want to sew on this line. Instead, you want to do an invisible stitch by hand again right here. It was actually my first time trying to do an invisible stitch, so I highly recommend you check out some other tutorials out there on YouTube. Now the final touches. With the remaining scraps of fabrics I had, I sewed a ribbon inside out and left the 2 ends open. Then with a loop turner, I turned it inside out. Close the big end of the ribbon with an invisible stitch and the small end with a couple of straight stitches and zigzag stitches. To attach the ribbons to the actual top, I simply sewed it on the same line as our elastic channel to sort of camouflage it with the top, and so this doesn't pop out or stand out too much. And now we have super cute ribbons that make sure your sleeves will never fall off and will always stay together. I also added 2 extra snap buttons inside to offer extra insurance. Fun story, I actually went biking once with this top and the top button fell off, which was actually really not fun. And there we have it, guys. I'm super happy with the final product, and even though there were parts I wasn't quite sure what to do, I still think it looks great in the end, and I highly recommend you guys try it as well. Here are some extra bloopers.
up, it's a bunny! So cute! It's so cute!
Isn't he the cutest? He looks like Benjamin Bunny. Look at him pose for me. Literally me all quarantine. And this is a lost baby bunny I was talking about. It doesn't show, but I was literally stressing my life while filming this shot. But it's a nice cute bumblebee. I also only realized there was an ant in this flower while watching the playback, and it's so nice.
So that was it, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it. Please stay tuned for my next video.
Missing someone.